Lori here. I'm here to start this reading vlog. I have started this reading vlog 4 different times, so finally I'm going to make some progress on it and actually read. I have not read really consistently since like the middle of the week. I've just been super distracted. I'm heading away on a trip in a couple of days, and I've just been trying to get everything prepared for that. But it is the first official weekend of October. I am hoping to get some creepy and eerie reads. That was the whole goal of this reading vlog. But I did start Daughters of the Deep by Riordan, which I am really, really liking. I'm so happy that I picked this up. I'm reading this book a bit early. It comes out in the end of October. The date got pushed like all of Disney's titles. So I am making my way through this. But I'm really liking it. It's a 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea retelling. There is competing schools. There's a technology war. And I'm really liking it so far. I read about 72 pages and I just haven't had the time to like sit down and read because it was the end of the month and the end of the season. So I've been doing a lot of filming. I filmed a couple of videos for the past 2 days. So I really haven't had any time to like sit down and read. I'm also listening to Artemis Fowl, the second book in that series, the Fowl twins. So that will be my listen. I also am going to go to yoga. I'm going to run to the library. I'm going to do a few errandy things. But my goal today is to rest my voice because it's very, very sore and it sounds very, very hoarse. I do apologize. It's the nature of teaching. You talk a lot and you tend to lose your voice. But yeah, my goal for today is to make some significant progress on this. I have some much longer true crime videos that I haven't watched yet. So yeah, I'm going to head to yoga at like 9:30 and I'll probably go get some lunch in town, go to the library, do all the fun things, hopefully make some progress on my audiobook and make some progress on this so I can finally get to my TBR, which I haven't touched, which is so unlike me. So I'm going to go read a little bit of Daughters of the Deep and I'll talk to you guys when I have an update. Bye, friends. Right here, I'm back. I did wind up reading about 106 pages of my book on my commute to and from the yoga studio. I also listened to quite a bit of Artemis the Fowl Twins book 2, so I have about 3 hours left of that. But I'm really liking this book a lot. I'm also liking the Fowl Twins book. It's definitely not my favorite in that series so far. I think I definitely like the Artemis Fowl series a little bit more just because I really loved Artemis Fowl as the characters, and Beckett and his brother are sort of growing on me. But I am getting pretty deep into this book. I've only read about 100 pages, but I'm really, really liking it. It's getting very, very science heavy, and I'm loving that element to it. I also love Rick Riordan's writing style. He just writes so funny. He always has these like liners that start a sentence. The first line of the sentence and the last line of the sentence are either really impactful or just really, really funny. So I'm really, really liking this. I'm really loving Anna as a character. I'm loving the setting. I am loving how they're forced to kind of be in a decision-making situation. I love who Anna really is. I like her learning about that. It's very, very Percy Jackson-y. Like, I like that element. I love that in Percy Jackson, and I like that in this book. Because, right, he writes that, learning that you're something more than you thought you were very, very well. And I just really, really like the setting. So I'm going to go read a little bit more. And when I get up to page 150, I'll give you guys a quick update. Bye, friends. The lighting's a little bit better now, sorry. But I did want to say that I did wind up getting up to page 150 in Daughter of the Deep. I'm really liking this book. I feel like it is exactly Rick Riordan's style. I just love the setting. I love the underwater elements. I love these steam elements because these books definitely have more steam elements than previous books he's written, but I really like it. I like the main character a lot. I think she's very, very fun. We still have a big cast of characters, and I feel like it's a lot of characters, so I feel like we're getting a lot of different point of views in this world. The dynamics of the story does remind me a little bit of the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes because everyone had like a specialty, and I do like that. But we're getting to the crux of the story, and I'm intrigued to see where it's going, how it's going to develop, but I'm really intrigued by it right off the bat. I really love this retelling elements. I love that there's enough tension. I love that there's a lot of pacing going on and a lot of action. It's really, really fun. So I'm going to read another like 50 pages, and then I will give you guys another update. It's about 140. I'm definitely going to go for a bike ride later because it's a pretty beautiful day, and I would like to get a bike ride in. But I'm going to go read another 50 pages, and then I'll give you guys an update. Bye, friends. Here I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. It's almost 4 o'clock. Actually, it is 4 o'clock. I just went home and went for a bike ride. I didn't wind up listening to any of my audiobook, but that's okay. But I did wind up reading up to page 200 in Daughter of the Deep by Rick Riordan. I'm really enjoying this book. It's definitely got more science fiction-y at this point, I'm really liking that quite a bit. I think that the amount of characters in the story are really interesting. I'm really captivated to see where this story goes. It just is very a fun read. I like the focus on science and so many different aspects of science. I've never really read a book that is like has some elements of Harry Potter, like it has houses, and I just like how the houses in this book are done. I think it's so much better than the way J.K. Rowling did them, because you could see these characters aren't similar, but they're not made to be enemies, and I do like that quite a bit. I like Anna as a main character. There really is no romance in here as of yet, and I'm okay with that because I think they're dealing with a lot. There's also a lot about Anna's past and Anna's parents that I'm really intrigued by. There's still one plot point that I'm sort of expecting to happen. I'll be sort of shocked at this point if it doesn't, but I'm really liking it. So I'm going to keep reading. I'll give you guys an update when I read about 50 more pages, and we'll check in. Bye, friends. Laurie here, just checking back in. I did wind up getting up to page 250 in Daughter of the Deep. One of the predictions I totally called totally came back into play, which I sort of saw coming, but that tends to be with these types of books. If there's a plot point, I'm not going to spoil the plot point, but there's a plot point that tends to happen at the start of a book, and then it kind of like is revealed much later. It happens a lot, so I sort of saw that plot point coming, but everything else I'm just loving about this book. Like, I really am liking the science elements. I'm loving the sciencey elements. I'm loving the adventure elements. It's super fun. I really like her as a main character. I like all the side characters. I'm curious to see if it's gonna like wrap up in one book or if it's gonna be multiple books. Like, we have about like 100 pages left, so I'm curious like where it's going to go. But I'm really liking it. I'm so happy that I picked this book up. So I'm gonna read about 50 more pages and then I'll update you guys. Bye, friends. Here I'm back. It's almost 8:30. It's almost 8:40. I did wind up getting up to page 300. My arc is a little bit shorter than all of the other books, so I think I only have like 30 pages left. So I'm gonna go tackle the rest of this. I'm right at the end, right at the climax of the story. Definitely really excited. I think this book is gonna tackle a couple of more prompts than I originally anticipated for the board for the Avengers Reading Challenge, which is great. So I'm going to go read the rest of this, give you guys a little bit of a check-in, and then we'll talk about my next read and my end thoughts of this book. Bye. Right here, I'm back. It's much later. I did wind up having to run some errands. There was a town fair that we went to, which we always go to. I bought some really early Christmas presents, which was super fun. But in that, I did wind up finishing 2 books. Late last night, I finished reading Daughters of the Deep by Riordan. I really enjoyed this book. Very science-heavy, but with a fantastical twist. I like that it was a retelling. I just have always loved Rick Riordan's writing. I don't know. I think I read originally was planning on being a standalone, but I would love to see him explore this world and see what happens at the end of this book, because they left it off on such an interesting position. I would like to see where the book goes in the future. It had a group of characters. It was just such a fun read. I really, really enjoyed this one. I also finished reading Deny All Change by Ian Colfer, which is the second Fowl Twins book. I liked it. I really like listening to them. They're super fast and super easy reads. I have to get around to reading through them, but I have to read that one physically. I also picked up Witch Please by Aguirre. This is going to be my first official spooky read of the season, and I've only read 15 pages, but you're following 2 different characters. You're following one character is named Danica, and she is a fully modern witch. She and her cousin, they own this repair shop where they fix things, and she is coming off of a bad breakup. And then the other character is Titus Winokur, and he has a family trouble of his own, or a trouble of his own. He has a romantic curse that he's sort of forced to deal with, and he runs a bakery, so their paths cross because he needs her to fix his oven. And it's just right off the bat, I read 15 pages of it, and I don't want to put the book down, so I'm happy to keep reading, and that's really my plan for today. It's just to read. This is a bit of a crazy week. I have I'm going out of town. And then I'm going to try to go to Comic-Con the last couple of days of Comic-Con because I have an out-of-town commitment that I have to go to. But I did go and get costume stuff today, which is really exciting. But I have a wedding, so yeah. But I'm excited. Hopefully I will be able to make it to Comic-Con on Saturday and Sunday. So that's the plan. But I am going to go back and read, hopefully make some reading progress, get down my YouTube queue. it's been nice to just read again. I really haven't been reading the last week. So it's nice to get back and just sort of dive into a good book. So I'm going to read this, and when I get up to page 50, I'll probably give you guys an update. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up reading about 50 pages in Witch Please. I'm really liking this book. It's quite fun. It has a modern day witch. There is definitely like a potential romance brewing. But Danica, her family, her grandmother does not want her dating anyone who's not a witch. And then you have Titus, who he's dealing with a lot. His parents died in the past couple of years. His dad just dropped a bomb on him, and he runs his own restaurant, but he's never had luck in love, and he believes he's cursed. But their paths cross, and it's just so fun. I love a baking element. I've never read a story where the man was the baker, so I'm really liking that. I also like the fix-it shop that Danica has. Again, it's just another aspect of witchcraft that I've never really read before. I'm really liking it. I read about 50 pages. I'm probably going to read about 50 pages more, and then I'm going to go for a walk while I can, because it's so pretty out, and I would like to enjoy my walking weather until it gets too cold. So I'm going to go read about 50 more pages, and then I'll give you guys another update. Bye, friends. I'm back. I did wind up taking a little bit of a reading break. I crafted. I got ready for work tomorrow morning. It is a shorter work week. I'm only working 3 days because I'm heading to an out-of-town commitment. And then hopefully I can go to Comic-Con on Saturday and Sunday if I get back with enough time, which I think I should, because we're supposed to come back Friday morning. So I should be able to go, but I spent today also getting my costumes ready and all that other fun stuff. But the out-of-town commitment comes first, so that's what I was doing. But I also did wind up reading about 100 pages in Witch Please. I really, really like this book. It's just so funny. So cute, so lighthearted. I love books about a small town. I love books about witchcraft. I just like the romance because they're both looking at romance in very, very different ways. They both have issues. Our male character sort of thinks he's cursed because every single time he gets into a relationship, something goes wrong. And then our female character, who is the witch, her grandmother wants her to marry a pure blood or like a full witch. And the man she's dating is definitely a muggle. They don't call them that, but I am. Or a muggle, at least. But I just love their romance. I love the baking element. Again, I said this in a previous clip. I love that he's the baker. You never see that. So I just love the small town and the characters. It's really, really fun. I like that she has a really fun relationship with her cousin. As someone that has a lot of cousins, I really like that relationship. So I'm going to go read a little bit more. When I read about 50 more pages, I will give you guys another check-in. Bye, friends. Sorry my ankle changed. But I did wind up reading up to page 140 in Witch Please by Aguirre. This book is just super fun. Like, it's just a very fun, delightful read. Normally when I read witch novels, they're like very hard-hitting and super complicated. This one just reminds me of reading like a rom-com. Like, it really is. It's like a rom-com story. I could totally see this being made into like a Hallmark movie because I just think it's very, very fun. It's so slow burn, and I love slow burn stories. I don't like stories that go too fast. You can know, romance-wise, I hate insta-love, and the place I spy insta-love the most is in YA fantasy and adult contemporaries. That's where I spy insta-love the most. So it's not insta-love because like they're forced to stay apart in some ways, and that's really captivating to me. But yeah, I read about 140 pages. I also don't know if I mentioned it, but I did finish the Fowl Twins denial charges. I liked it. It wasn't my favorite. I think I'm still really enjoyed the first Artemis Fowl series, but my goal for tomorrow is to listen to The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins and make some progress on this. I am heading on my trip later in the week, and I don't want to take like any like library books with me in case something happens and I lose them. So I'm trying to read my library books before I go, and this is like a 14-day hold, so I actually need to return this probably like sooner rather than later. But my goal is to make some more progress on this. I'm also made some progress on my YouTube queue, which is pretty good. But yeah, I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to watch tonight. I honestly have no idea, but I will check in with you guys tomorrow. I'm going to be home a little bit later because I have to go to a faculty meeting. They changed our schedule, so it's like fewer days staying later, but those days we stay later, we have to stay really, really late. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, friends. Lori here. I'm back. It is Monday. I just got home from work. We stayed a little bit later because we had a faculty meeting, but I am pleased to report that I did wind up reading about to page 211 in Witch Please by Aguirre. I'm really liking this book. I definitely like my contemporary romances a little bit more fade to black than this is. There are a lot of steamy times in it, but I am still enjoying it. That's just like a personal preference for me as like a reader. But I do really like how the world is definitely being fleshed out more than I like originally thought. There is really like a plot developing that's like about the magic system, which I really wasn't expecting. But I really just love the couple. I think it's very sweet. They both have secrets that they're hiding, so I anticipate one of those secrets sort of blowing up this relationship at some point. But I am liking it, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I just got home. I'm going to like work out. I try to work out every single day when I get home and work out in the morning before I head to work, which doesn't always happen, but it's my goal. I also did wind up starting The Lady Upstairs, but I just listened to like a little bit in the morning, and I also didn't walk home tonight because it was raining, so I'll probably walk home tomorrow and hopefully get a little bit more listening in. Now that like I'm in like a grading process, like it's hard to like listen to any audiobooks when I'm at work because like I want to focus on the things I'm doing and not like on the grading, but but I am gonna go work out. I hope to make a little bit more progress on Witch Please tonight and maybe get up to like page 300 would be like a nice goal. I don't know, we'll see. But I'll update you guys when I have read maybe to like 250. I'll give you guys another update. Bye, friends. Sorry, just checking back in. It's 7:02. I did wind up getting up to page 250 about In Witch Please by Aguirre. The world building and the plot stuff, other than the romance, is not what I expected from this read. I really am liking it quite a bit. I will say, again, as I said in a previous clip, the sexy times are not always my thing, but that's just because it kind of bores me a little bit. I know, I'm a bad romance reader. I admit that. But I do like the witchcraft lore. It reminds me a little bit, I can't remember. There was like a TV show that had like an element of this. Like there's witches and witch hunters. That's sort of like what's happening. And I can't think of like the TV show that like had a witch hunter. There was a one that I used to watch and I like legit just can't think of it. And it's not, the witch hunter is not represented the way you think it would be, but I'm really liking this quite a bit. There's also a really fun subplot with Titus. I love Titus as a character. He's definitely like a fun new heroine. He has a sister that he's taking care of, and he also has another person he's potentially taking care of as well. There's a puppy involved, which you know how I feel about dogs in novels. I love them. So my goal is to read at least like 50 more pages and see where I am time-wise. Last night I was able to watch There's Only Murders in the Building, another episode, which again, I'm really liking as well. So I'm going to go try to read about 50 more pages of this. I will give you guys an update when I make a bit more progress. Bye, friends. Lori here, I'm back. It is about 8:30. I did wind up getting up to page 300 in Witch Please by Aguirre. I really am, I'm enjoying this book. I think it reminds me like of a cozy mystery. Really not the mystery element, but it's definitely more romantic than the other like cozy romances I've read, but I do like it. There's a lot more sexy times in the story, but I really do like the world building about the witch system because that's something that I've been really like enjoying in the story. I really just love the romance. I thought Titus was a great character. I also love that we got both of their point of views. We definitely hit the one climax of the story like a little bit earlier, so I'm curious to see what's going to happen in the last 50 pages and see how that's going to turn out. I think it's probably going to be more with the magic system and the secret she's keeping from him, but I'm really liking it. I'm debating if I want to bring another book with me tomorrow because I only have 50 pages and I normally read like 20 each way, so I will probably be without a book. So I'm probably going to bring a book with me on the off chance that I get to it. I'll probably bring the Hexx because it's a little bit shorter, but I will update you guys tomorrow, and hopefully I will have listened to a little bit more of my audiobook because I didn't get to read a lot today. But I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, friends. Lori here. I'm back. I've had to rush home because I thought one of my Patreon meetings was happening, but it got pushed back to 7:30, so I actually have a little bit of time to update you. I have one more day of work before I have to go adventuring to Pennsylvania and then going to Comic-Con for the last couple of days. I'm really excited about that. Will definitely be a scaled down bookish version this year, so I don't even know what I'm going to haul or if I'm going to find anything fun. I have a couple of little errandy stuff I want to pick up for some friends. It's definitely going to be like con light. Like, it's not going to have like what I'm used to in New York City Comic-Con. Definitely for sure due to the pandemic. I'm only going 2 days, so it'll definitely be less chaotic than it's been in the past. But I'm just excited to get back to the hustle and bustle, and I hope cons become more common in the next couple of years because I really have missed them. But let's get into what I finished reading. I finished reading Witch Please by Aguirre. I thought this book was so fun and so delightful. It definitely, like the underground plot about the magic system and the witch hunter and stuff like that, definitely did not get resolved. I will say that, and I think that's going to be a big, more prevalent plot in like the second book. But I like the magic system stuff. I also really like the relationship that the family had. Like, it was a very multi-generational story, and I found that really interesting. I also liked Titus a lot. He was a really, really interesting main character who was taking care of his sister and other people as the story went on. There was an adorable dog in here. I really, really like the magic system. On my way home, I picked up The Lost Apothecary because I finished it relatively early. But I think I'm going to save that for New York City, like when I'm traveling and stuff, because it's not that long. So I'm going to pick up The Hexx by Erin Sterling. From what I was told, this is like a contemporary romance with a magic twist set in Stars Hollow. So I'm here for it. I think this is like a second chance romance. You follow this girl named Vivian Jones, and she cursed her ex 9 years ago, but like in 9 years, the curse finally takes effect and they have to deal with the consequences. I'm super excited for this one. I bought it and I'm very, very excited. This one did fulfill one of my prompts for the Adventures Reading Challenge. It also was like a paranormal book. So this is going to be a recent purchase. So I'm released. And I also made a little bit more reading progress on The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins, which also, so funny, is the same author that wrote this. So I'm going to be reading 2 books at the same exact time. But again, I'm only 40 minutes in. My podcast just takes so long in the morning, and then I like never get around to reading it. And I was walking much quicker today to get home early. But it basically follows this girl. I don't know her name. I can't remember. But she is like a dog walker for like this famous little community. And she keeps nicking stuff from houses to like pay for her lifestyle. But then she sort of gets roped into this man's life where he buys a dog so she can take care of the dog. Definitely some attraction is brewing, but his wife went missing 6 months ago, and you're sort of uncovering what is happening. Really liking that one so far. But I'm going to go start the Hexx and read for a little bit until my meeting. And then I'll probably update you guys again. But yeah. Just want to say that I did finish reading Witch Please. I liked it. Definitely a little bit more smutty than I was expecting, but I still really liked it. And I would probably give this one like 3.75 stars. So I'm going to go start the Hexx, and I'll update you guys when I read about 50 pages. Bye, friends. Lori here. I'm back. It is definitely been a bit. It's been about 4 days since I last updated. I went to a wedding. I also was able to go to New York City Comic-Con for like the last couple of days of that convention. It was super fun. But in that interim, I think I started, last time I saw you, I started the Hexx by Erin Sterling. I did wind up finishing this. I thought it was super fun. I was reading it like on all of my lines, and I finished it pretty early. I think I finished this when I was still in Pennsylvania. And then I picked up another book, Evangeline. That was the middle grade book I was going to read, but I wasn't really feeling it. So I picked up all these bodies, and that will feature into my next reading vlog. But I really, really like this book. It was very, very fun. It reminded me a lot of Stars Hollow and Halloween Town, just how the world was sort of like developed. I actually changed the prompt for this, and I used it for a Halloween movie that I like because it just reminded me of Halloween Town, that small little magical village. I really like this. I thought the romance was super fun. I definitely like this a little bit more than Witch Please, which I also read in this reading vlog, but again, super enjoyable read, very, very fun. One that just put a smile on my face. And I'm gonna wrap up this reading vlog and go start my next reading vlog because I'm home today. Because it's Columbus Day and I am exhausted. So I'm just gonna sit here and read. I might run up to town if my mom didn't bring back my library book because I have to go do that. But I am gonna go wrap up this reading vlog. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you soon for my next one. Bye, friends.